Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep on AsyncLM.
Oh, this is a fun one.
It is, and I think a lot of our listeners are probably business folks, right? They're always looking for an edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to break down how this AsyncLM thing can actually, help them level up their applications, make things faster, smoother.
And you've brought some really interesting research, so I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, I did my homework. This stuff is seriously cool.
Yeah,
Imagine giving your apps AI superpowers.
that's a great way to put it. AsyncLM is all about letting your applications do multiple things at once, all powered by those incredible large language models.
The LLMs, right?
Exactly. They're like super smart assistants for your code, but until now, they've been kind of stuck doing things one at a time.
Yeah, like an old school assembly line. Each step has to finish before the next one can start.
That's right. And it can create some serious bottlenecks. Imagine you've got a chatbot that needs to check inventory, calculate shipping costs, and recommend related products, all while chatting with a customer.
Oh yeah, that poor chatbot would be overwhelmed.
With the old way, it's a slow and frustrating experience for everyone. It's like watching paint dry.
Huh, no one wants that. Now with AsyncLM, things get a whole lot smoother. It's like that chatbot suddenly gets a team of helpers.
Exactly. They can all work on different tasks at the same time, and the chatbot can keep the conversation flowing.
So the customer doesn't even notice that all this stuff is happening in the background. It just feels fast and seamless.
That's the beauty of asynchronous function calling. It's like magic, but it's actually really clever engineering.
Right. And the research talks about two key innovations that make this magic happen. The first one is interruptible LLM decoding.
Ah, that's the secret sauce.
Okay, so break it down for us. What does that even mean?
Well, imagine you're reading a book and someone keeps tapping you on the shoulder, asking you questions.
Oh, I hate that.
Right, it's super distracting. Traditional LLMs are kind of like that. They can't be interrupted while they're working on a task. They have to wait for each function call to finish before moving on.
So it's like they have to read the whole book without putting it down,
Yeah.
even if someone needs their attention.
Exactly. But AsyncLM is different. It's like the LLM can gracefully handle those interruptions. When a function call finishes, it can just pause for a second, take in the new information, and then pick up right where it left off.
So no more losing their place in the book. That's pretty cool.
And the second key innovation is this thing called CML, or Context Markup Language.
CML, huh? Sounds kind of technical.
It is a bit, but think of it as a special language that helps the LLM and those function calls communicate effectively. It's like a set of instructions that tell them how to work together in perfect harmony.
So it's like the conductor of an orchestra, making sure all the instruments are playing the right notes at the right time.
You got it. CML tells the LLM when to pause, when to expect results, and how to incorporate those results into its ongoing task. It's the glue that holds it all together.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the picture here. We've got the interruptible LLM gracefully handling those function call results and CML making sure everything runs smoothly.
Right.
But how much faster is this AsyncLM thing compared to the old way of doing things?
Oh, you're going to be impressed. We're talking about serious speed boosts.
Spill the beans.
Well, depending on the specific task, AsyncLM can be anywhere from 1.6 to a whopping 5.4 times faster than traditional sequential function calling.
Whoa, that's huge. What does that mean for businesses, though? Like, how does that translate into real-world benefits?
Well, just imagine all those applications that rely on LLMs to do their heavy lifting.
Yeah, like those chatbots we were talking about.
Exactly. With AsyncLM, they can respond faster, handle more complex requests, and provide a much smoother user experience.
And happy customers are good for business.
Always. And it's not just chatbots. Think about things like data analysis, content creation, even those super complex automated workflows. AsyncLM can make them all faster and more efficient.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. Let's dig a little deeper into this CML thing. It sounds like it's playing a pretty critical role in all of this.
It is. It's like the brains behind the operation.
All right, so give us the inside scoop. How does it actually work?
All right, so last time we were getting into the nitty-gritty of how AsyncLM works, all those clever technical bits.
Yeah, the interruptible LLMs, the CML, all that jazz.
Right. But now let's talk about what it can actually do. How can businesses actually use this to, make a difference?
Yeah, let's get practical. I mean, I'm all for geeking out over the tech, but at the end of the day, it's got to deliver results.
Absolutely. So let's start with something everyone's familiar with, chatbots.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got a chatbot these days.
Mm,
But I've got to say, some of them are pretty clunky.
true. But with AsyncLM, you can build chatbots that are not just fast, but incredibly helpful. Imagine a customer asking about a product.
Okay, got it. What happens next?
Well, While the chatbot is crafting a response, being all friendly and helpful,
Uh-huh.
it can simultaneously be checking inventory levels, comparing prices, maybe even suggesting similar items.
So it's like the chatbot has a whole team of little helpers working behind the scenes, gathering all the info it needs.
Exactly. And because it's all happening asynchronously, the customer doesn't have to wait around for each step to finish. It's all super smooth and seamless.
That's awesome. I can see how that would make customers happy.
Right. No one likes waiting around for a slow chatbot. But it's not just about speed. AsyncLM lets you build chatbots that can handle much more complex tasks.
Oh, like what? Give me an example.
Okay, how about this? A customer wants to book a flight, reserve a hotel, and rent a car, all through the chatbot.
Whoa, that's a lot to juggle.
It is. But with AsyncLM, the chatbot can handle all those bookings simultaneously. It can be talking to different APIs and services all at the same time.
So the customer just tells the chatbot what they want, and boom, everything's taken care of.
You got it. It's a total game changer for travel planning, customer service, all sorts of things.
Okay, I'm convinced. AsyncLM is a must-have for any chatbot worth its salt. But what about, like, other business processes? Can it help there, too?
Absolutely. Think about all those tedious tasks that take up so much time and energy.
Don't remind me. I'm drowning in paperwork over here.
Well, imagine using AsyncLM to automate those tasks. Invoices, data entry, report generation, it can all be done in a snap.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me I can finally get rid of those mountains of invoices on my desk?
That's the idea. With AsyncLM, you can have an LLM read those invoices, extract all the important data, verify it, and even generate reports, all automatically.
So it's like having a team of virtual assistants working around the clock.
Pretty much. And it's not just about speed, it's also about accuracy. LLMs are really good at spotting patterns and anomalies, so they can actually catch errors that humans might miss.
Okay, that's huge. No one wants to deal with costly mistakes because of typos or whatever.
Exactly. And the best part is, this frees up your human employees to focus on more strategic, higher-level tasks.
Yeah, let the AI handle the boring stuff and let the humans do what they do best. Think creatively and solve problems.
Now, let's take this automation concept even further. Imagine you're a marketing agency, and you need to create personalized email campaigns for thousands of customers.
Okay, that sounds like a nightmare. How could AsyncLM possibly help with that?
Well, think about it. LLMs are great at generating text, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't it take forever to create thousands of unique emails?
Not with AsyncLM. It can generate those emails in parallel, pulling in data from your CRM, tailoring each message to the individual customer.
So each email would be unique and relevant to the recipient.
Exactly. And while it's doing that, it can also be segmenting your audience, scheduling the emails for optimal delivery times, all that good stuff.
It's like having a team of marketing wizards working their magic behind the scenes.
You got it. And the result is highly personalized campaigns that are more likely to get opened, read, and acted upon.
That's brilliant. I'm starting to see how AsyncLM can really take things to the next level no matter what industry you're in.
It's about unlocking new possibilities and finding creative ways to leverage the power of AI.
Okay, so I'm sold on the benefits. But how do businesses actually get started with AsyncLM? What are the practical steps involved?
That's a great question. And it all starts with choosing the right tools for the job.
Okay, so we've got the hype, we've got the potential, but now let's talk brass tacks. How do we actually make this AsyncLM thing work for us?
Well, the first step is understanding that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. You mentioned choosing the right tools, and I'm guessing that starts with the LLM itself.
Absolutely. It's tempting to think bigger is always better, especially with those massive models making headlines.
Oh, yeah. Totally. It's like wanting the latest smartphone,
Yeah.
even if you don't really need all the fancy features.
Exactly. Sometimes a smaller, more focused LLM might be a better fit. More efficient, more cost-effective, even more accurate for certain tasks.
It's like choosing the right tool for the job, right? You wouldn't use a sledgehammer to crack a walnut.
Exactly. And the research you brought up had some really interesting findings about this. In some cases, those fine-tuned llama models actually outperformed the big guys, like GPT-4, on specific AsyncLM tasks.
Wow, really? So smaller can sometimes be smarter. I guess it's all about understanding your needs, right?
That's the key. What are you actually trying to achieve? How complex are the tasks? What's your budget? Once you have a clear picture of that, you can start looking for the LLM that's the best fit.
It's like going to a tailor, right? You need the right measurements to get a suit that fits perfectly.
Perfect analogy. And then, once you have your LLM, you need to make sure it's ready to handle all this asynchronous action.
Right. You mentioned fine-tuning earlier. Can you remind us how that works and why it's so important for AsyncLM?
Sure. Fine-tuning is basically giving your LLM specialized training for a particular job. It's like taking a generalist and turning them into a specialist.
So if we're building an app for, say, a legal firm, we'd fine-tune the LLM on legal documents and jargon.
Exactly. That way, it understands the nuances of the language, the kinds of requests it might get, how to respond appropriately. It's like giving it a crash course in being a legal expert.
Makes sense. But how does fine-tuning help with the whole asynchronous part?
Well, remember how we talked about those interruptions, the function calls coming in while the LLM is working?
Yeah, and the CML orchestrating everything.
Right. Fine-tuning helps the LLM get really good at handling those interruptions gracefully. It learns to incorporate the results from the function calls without missing a beat, without getting confused.
So it's not just about understanding the domain. It's
Yeah.
about mastering the art of asynchronous communication.
Exactly. It becomes a pro at working with CML, understanding those critical sections, managing those pauses, the whole shebang.
Okay, I'm seeing the importance of fine-tuning now.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned some potential downsides to using those really big cloud-based LLMs, right?
Right. As amazing as they are, those massive models can sometimes be a bit slow off the mark.
So it's not all about raw speed.
Nope. It's like having a super fast race car that takes 5 minutes to start the engine. Not very useful in a race, is it?
Huh? Definitely not. So what can we do about that?
Well, that's where the research gets really interesting. It talks about co-designing the entire system to support AsyncLM. It's not just about the LLM, it's about the infrastructure around it.
So optimizing how those interrupts are handled, managing the LLM state during pauses, all that techie stuff.
Exactly. And there are some really clever tricks like prompt caching to help reduce those startup times. It's a whole engineering challenge, but a fascinating one.
I can imagine. Okay, so there's a lot to think about when it comes to AsyncLM, but it's clearly a powerful tool.
It is. And I think for businesses that are willing to put in the effort, the rewards can be game-changing.
So as we wrap things up, what are the big takeaways for our listeners? What should they remember as they start exploring AsyncLM?
Well, first, asynchronous function calling is a must-have for any serious LLM application. It just opens up so many possibilities in terms of speed, efficiency, and what you can actually achieve.
Right, we've seen how it can transform everything from customer service to complex workflows.
But it's not magic. You need to make smart choices. Choosing the right LLM, fine-tuning it properly, building the right infrastructure around it, all of that is crucial.
So it's an exciting technology, but it requires careful planning and execution.
Exactly. But for those who are ready to embrace the challenge, I think AsyncLM has the potential to be truly transformative.
Well said. So, to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to dive in, experiment, and see what amazing things you can build with AsyncLM. It's the future of AI, and it's only getting more exciting.
Absolutely. Keep learning, keep innovating, and who knows what incredible applications we'll see in the years to come.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into AsyncLM. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration into the world of AI.